This meeting is called to order, Madam Clerk.
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec, notice of which was sent to the record in the Star Ledger and was posted on the municipal bulletin board.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Here.
Councilmember Battaglia.
Here.
Mayor LaBrus.
Here. Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to the flag
of the United States
of America
and
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice
for all.
Okay, can we go back to multi-screen, please?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm trying to go back to multi-screen. Okay.
Oh.
Before we move forward, we lost a dear member of our community this past Sunday at 5:30 in the morning. Mr. Emil Canestrino, husband of Deputy Mayor Kathy Canestrino, passed away, unfortunately, from complications due to the coronavirus. Sad day in Hackensack. Emil was a well-respected police captain in the Hackensack Police Department, where he served for 33 years in the police department. A lot of good memories with him, a lot of friends in this city, and we're going to miss him. I'm going to read a testimonial that was written by his son-in-law, which I just found to be just unbelievable, and I want to share it with everybody, so I'm going to try to read through this. This morning, my father-in-law, Emil Canestrino, passed away. And though we've known this day was coming because his health had been in decline for some time, he never stopped fighting. We haven't all been able to see him for the past several weeks because of everything that's been going on. But that only seemed to give him strength. It was like he almost wanted to hold on until he could be with his family. In the end, it was all too much for anyone to bear. But in his many months in the hospital, I finally come to understand why everybody always talks about how tough he always was. When I met Emil 25 years ago, he was already retired from Hackensack PD. I liked him right away because he reminded me of my own family. He liked me too, I think, because I'm Italian. But according to my mother-in-law, it might have also been because I was a breath of fresh air compared to the other shady characters that Amy brought home. Amy made him seem scary in her own stories. So I'm glad he was sitting down when I met him, because he was a mountain of a man who could easily snap my neck. But I could tell right away that he was a kind, gentle, and very loving. When Amy and I got married, we moved just a few blocks away from my in-laws and have lived within a mile of them for the past 20 years. My father-in-law was retired and I worked from home. So we saw a lot of each other, especially when we started having kids. He would come over to see them just about every day and stay for hours watching the same Disney movies over and over again, without complaint. Even after the kids had grown and started going to school, I would take a break from work and find that he had snuck in and left a B&W crumb cake on the kitchen counter for me to find, or some of Mom's leftovers for me to have for lunch. Sometimes I would look up while pouring a cup of coffee and see him through the window in the backyard, tending to the tomato garden. Whenever we needed him, he would be there, especially when I needed him for animal control, like when the groundhog was eating our cherry tomatoes, or when he helped me catch the mouse that had gotten in the basement, or when he helped me catch the bird that had flown into my house that I trapped in my bedroom. And by helped, I mean he actually caught the bird while I stood in the doorway saying, "There it is, did you get it?" over and over again. I'm going to miss our annual Disney World trips and how every year he insisted he wasn't going to come this time, but always ended up changing his mind because he couldn't stand to be so far from the kids. I'm going to miss our trips to the beach. Neither of us like to go in the water, so we'd sit together in our beach chairs for hours watching the kids swim. He'd keep a radio on his lap and tell me old stories. He wasn't a hockey fan at all, but he always made it a point to read up on the Devils so he could talk to me about the team. At Sunday dinner, we would sit at the table long after the plates were cleared away and talk about politics. And he loved to tease me for being a Democrat. Whenever Amy does something crazy, I'm going to miss how he'd look at me and say the words he said to me on my wedding day. She's your problem now. I'm going to miss how he was always laughing, always smiling, always my biggest fan. Along with my own father and grandfather, he was a role model for the kind of dad and eventual grandpa I want to be. He was a good man, which I've learned from my old dad is the highest compliment. I hope right now he's sitting in the shade by a pool somewhere, reading the paper and listening to the Mets on the radio with the friends who have been waiting for him because he earned it. Thanks so much for everything, Dad, and I'll see you again someday. So it's a great testimony to Emil. And, you know, I'm wearing my Mets gear tonight in honor of Emil, and he's going to be missed dearly. He was always available, always there to talk if you needed to talk, and told you exactly how he felt. And he's going to be missed, and our prayers go out to him, and our prayers go out to Kathy and the whole family, the kids. You know, most of us on this council, all of us on this council and on this call tonight have witnessed what she's gone through, and the time she, you know, every day when he was in the hospital and could be visited, Kathy was there. She never missed a day. They brought him food every day, the family, and they took care of him in his last days. The hardest part for them was not being able to be with him for a while because of not being able to visit because of this disease. And it was tough on the family, but it's, you know, at this point now it was a blessing because he was really suffering at the end, and he's in a better place than we are right now. So I'd like to have a moment of silence for Emil Canestrino and also all the other COVID victims out there. So if we could have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. With that, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of April 20th, 2020.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay, with that, we're going to move to the city manager's report.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. This will be the city manager's report for May 5th, 2020. I'm going to been asked to try to fill the shoes of Deputy Mayor Canestrino's update for the FAA. So I'm going to give you a little update of where we're at. I've been asked to update the FAA proposed flight plan, which was scheduled to proceed at the end of March of 2020. Kathy briefed us at a prior council meeting that there was going to be a delay in the new flight plan going because of the new path rollout and a recent request from the Historic Preservation Committee, which wants to review the rollout plan for this new flight path. New Jersey State Historic Preservation Office is doing the review, and they want to do a more intense evaluation of this project for the historic sites in New Bergen County. The information is the FAA is the FAA is working with the New Jersey State Historic Preservation Office to minimize the impact of the original evaluation that is now in question. There's an office of the NJSH SHPO. Hopefully they will concur with the latest proposal by the FAA. Number two, Due to the COVID virus pandemic, the FAA is not conducting any training. Once the restrictions are lifted, they will need to do the training for the air traffic controllers. A optimistic schedule would be that the training would move forward by September of 2020, with the flight path implementation to begin by the end of year's end. Obviously, Deputy Mayor Canestrino, when time permits and she's ready to reassume her responsibilities, will give us an update. And I pray for her husband's soul. My agenda is this. Please be advised that the city parks were reopened on Saturday, May 2nd with restrictions. Passive recreation only. The city will follow Executive Order 133. Please use social distancing and wear a mask. No contact sports or picnicking is permitted. Our community gardens are open by schedule only. Additional information is available at the Hackensack org/COVID-19 on our website. 2, on Monday, May 4th, select parking regulations have been reinstalled at the HUMC garage, Lot S, and metered parking. Main Street and Anderson Street will remain free parking until further notice. Please refer to your hackensack.org for more details and information. 3, our second quarter tax payment grace period has been extended to June 1st. Effective June 2nd, interest will revert to the statutory due date of May 1st. City Hall is closed to the public. Please utilize our drop box, which is in the tunnel area of our City Hall, between City Hall and the police department. Our City Hall parking lot for a drop-off of your payment. There's a message board there, there's signage there, and usually with our constable is maintaining that to assist residents on making the payment. They also have the online payment, also our accepted check or money order is possible. 4, please be advised that our health and safety of our city employees, no cash policy authorized by Resolution 159-20 has been extended through at least June 30th, 2020. 5, our municipal court will reopen with a virtual court session on May 11th. No in-person sessions have been scheduled to date. 6, the city has launched an informational hotline and email, info@hackensack.org. This will assist residents with non-medical questions referring to COVID-19 and the pandemic. I can tell you that we got a lot of phone calls that request and discuss unemployment benefits. That's a state program. The city has nothing to do with that, and unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to help residents, but we do acknowledge that there's a huge delay. 7, the Johnston Public Library will remain closed until further notice. Please refer to the website to view their phone support options and new portal offerings for employment resources. 8, our summer recreation camp has been canceled for 2020. We hope to offer some virtual options for our children as the summer months approach. We will keep everyone informed. 9, census update. Please remember to respond to the 2020 census. We are currently at 54% of a response. Your response to the census assists in determining resources for New Jersey and Bergen County will receive from the federal government. It is important to respond to census. 10, please remember to be safe, be well, stay home, and if you're able to. So this will complete the city manager's report. Additional information when it becomes available, we try to post it as quickly as possible on our website. We're trying to do the best we can. We pray for those in jeopardy, and we pray for the souls that have passed. And that will complete the city manager's report.
Thank you. And with
Next,
that, we're going to
will
move
be,
on to Susan McVeigh, our health officer.
yes, sir. Susan?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone.
There she is.
Here I am. Good evening. Let me just start by saying Our numbers have slightly decreased in the last couple days. In the daily reports, as of today, we have 1,204 positive cases in the city of Hackensack and 78 deaths of our Hackensack residents, including our deputy mayor's husband. I'm very sorry for her loss. We do continue to get updates every day from the computer surveillance system through the state, and we follow up with those daily. City manager asked me to come and speak about testing for the city of Hackensack. There are many testing sites surrounding us, not one in town as of yet. But I am working, this is preliminary. So we have a joint venture that's going to be happening with the county health department and Newbridge. So the county has ordered and approved a mobile testing van that should be here within the next week or so. And they're also retrofitting another van to do mobile testing. Hackensack is on board with that. We will be on the list of places where they come. They'll be coming more than once. As I said, it's going to be a joint venture. So once we figure out the logistics of where it's going to be, what we want to do is focus on the people that don't have transportation, that can't get to Paramus, that can't get to Maywood, and the other testing sites. Once I have more information on that, I will share it on the website. Also, I just got an email this afternoon that Rite Aid on Essex Street is going to start testing. So the testing at Rite Aid will be for people that have symptoms. As you might have heard, the other testing sites, the FEMA testing sites, changed on Monday. They're allowing all people to come, and that will be what we're going to do in Hackensack once we have the mobile testing sites. So stay tuned. Once I get more information from the county, I have a meeting tomorrow morning with them, and it should be up and running within the next couple of weeks. And as soon as I have the information, I'll share it with you. Do you have any questions?
No, I would just wanted to say, Susan, that when we find out the date that the mobile sites are here, that we will be doing NIXL alerts to the public. We will
Absolutely.
also be doing a reverse 911 call to let people know that it's in town. But like I said, we're waiting for the date. So thank you.
Yeah, as of now, we're working on, we would like to do it in a couple different areas. Like I said, for people that don't have transportation, maybe doing it on one part of town on one day, the next part of town on another day, and they'll be available to come more than once. So it'll be an ongoing collaborative effort between us and the county.
All right, good. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan.
You're welcome.
Okay, so next on our agenda is Jim Mangan, our CFO, in regards to the budget.
Thank you, Ted. Yeah, we're at the point in the budget process right now where we're up to the public hearing. The municipal budget for 2020 was introduced on April 7th. By law, public hearing has to be no less than 28 days later. That brings us to today. Briefly, the budget is $108,514,237, which is an increase over last year, a spending increase of $1.5 million. As I explained in the budget presentation at the last meeting, 1.2 million of that 1.5 million is in the area of health benefits. On the revenue side, there'll be no tax increase again this year, just like last year. We have an increase in non-tax revenue that will mitigate the $1.5 million spending increase. The budget has been posted on the city website, as has the budget presentation. It's also been available on YouTube for the last 2 weeks. And following tonight's public hearing, what we'll be doing is we won't be voting to amend it. We won't be voting to adopt it. Instead, later on in the business portion of the meeting, there will be a resolution to amend the budget. Okay, that budget amendment will then require another public hearing, which will be held at the May 19th meeting. And at the conclusion of that public hearing, then there would be a vote to adopt. And just quickly, the budget amendment tonight is because we had to make a change to the debt service component of the parking utility budget. And because the change that we made was greater than 10%, that's why it calls for another public hearing. But right now, we'll be doing the public hearing on the municipal budget, and later on in the business portion, there will be a resolution to amend the budget.
Okay. So with that, I need a motion to open to the public to speak to the budget. So I need a motion.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. At this time, anybody who would like to speak to the budget, if you're on Zoom and on video, you can unmute. If you're on a phone, you have to press *6 in order to unmute yourself. Anybody like to speak to the budget? Can the members of the public hear me? Could somebody acknowledge me from the public, please, so I know they can hear?
We hear you.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. I'm going to ask again before I close, because with this new type of technology we're having to use, we don't want to miss anybody. So is there anybody who wants to speak to the budget itself?
I don't have a question about the budget, but I was wondering with the testing, you guys have any idea how much that would cost?
Ma'am, we can discuss that later, but this is questioning right now is about the budget only. There will be a public comment session later on, which we can discuss that then.
Okay.
All right. So this is only for the budget and the budget only. Is there anybody who wants to speak to the budget? Hearing no one from the public, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
All in, roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay. So that's it. The budget hearing is over. And with
Mayor,
that-
Mayor, if I could we just confirm that there were no email comments that were sent in as well?
Deb?
Yeah, no, I think, let me just double check, but I don't think any of the comments had to do with that. I think they were all for the public.
No, I didn't get anything for the budget.
Okay,
Thank
yeah, and
you.
everything else is just for public comment.
Great.
Okay, so with that, we're going to move on to new business, Resolution 176-20.
Resolution 176-20 is a resolution authorizing the city's special counsel for tax appeals to settle the cases on the attached list dated May 5th that were scheduled for trial or settlement.
Okay, I need a motion, please.
Offer.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 177-20.
This is a resolution authorizing tax refunds for state board judgments.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 178-20.
This is a resolution correcting settlement recommendation for Block 78, Lot 12, that was approved on February 25th, 2020.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 179-20.
This is a resolution authorizing tax appeal attorney to settle the cases on the attached list dated April 27th, 2020, that were scheduled for trial or settlement.
Can I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 180-20.
This is a resolution to amend the CY 2020 approved budget.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 181-20.
This is a resolution for emergency temporary appropriation prior to the adoption of the budget per NJSA 40A:4-20.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 182-20.
This is a resolution authorizing transfer of 2019 parking utility budget appropriations.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 183-20.
This is a resolution instituting a grace period concluding on June 1st, 2020 for the payment of second quarter property taxes.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 184-20, payment of bills.
Resolution authorizing payment of bills.
Need a motion to pay the bills, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay, move on with the consent agenda. Is anybody have a conflict with anything on the consent agenda? Hearing no conflicts, let's move forward.
The following items are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda, and consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes, including any exceptions and/or additions. The consent agenda consists of Resolution 185-20 through 193-20. 185-20 is a resolution calling all residents and businesses to honor healthcare workers on the front lines of the COVID-19 crisis and light the fight. Resolution 186-20 is a resolution authorizing the City of Hackensack to accept a State of New Jersey SFY 2020 Safe and Secure Communities Grant. Resolution 187-20 is a resolution authorizing an ambulance reimbursement. Resolution 188-20 is a resolution authorizing a water bid contract of $307,624 to JC Contracting for traffic signal improvements at Main and Mercer Streets. Resolution 189-20 is a resolution rejecting all bids for the Atlantic Street Parking Garage renovation project. Resolution 190-20 is a resolution authorizing accrued time payout of $60,972.03 to the estate of Mary Kurzman. Resolution 191-20 is a resolution authorizing award of contract of $44,500 to Suburban Engineering for the Johnson Park Sports Facility design. Resolution 192-20 is a resolution authorizing shared service agreement between the City of Hackensack and County of Bergen for road resurfacing projects. And Resolution 193-20 is a resolution authorizing the City of Hackensack to enter into an ADA cooperative curb ramp program with the County of Bergen.
Okay. We need a motion to adopt the consent agenda as it was read, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay, with that, I need a motion to open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay, excuse me. At this time, anybody from the public who would like to speak, if you're on phone, again, press *6 to unmute yourself. If you're on video, just unmute and we'll be able to hear you. Please state your name for the clerk and you will have 3 minutes. She will monitor the time and let us know when your 3 minutes is up. I see there's a lot of people on here. I don't know if everybody wants to speak, but be mindful of other people's time.
Stop me.
So,
I would like to speak.
okay, please give your name to the clerk.
Blanche Stewart.
Okay, Ms. Stewart,
I did email a question about, will Hackensack follow the lead of Bergenfield and Teaneck by offering COVID-19 testing for all residents? From what we've learned, the cost of the test would be covered by Medicare and private insurance. Hackensack would only need to provide a location.
we are working.
They blocked me.
Excuse me?
We are working at this time. I don't know if you heard what the health officer said. We have the county mobile truck coming into Hackensack in the near future. We're also working on something with some other municipalities, which do just take Medicare and Medicaid or insurance. We're working on several different things. So yes, we will be having testing done in Hackensack. That's the answer. But we're working on several.
Mayor, I believe Susan's still on.
Susan, you still here?
I'm still here.
All right. You want to address this a little bit? Just what we
Sure.
spoke about before?
Both Rite Aid, that is going to start testing on Essex Street on May 11th, and the mobile testing unit that we're going to have with the county, neither will have any charge. So
Will we have to make appointments, or does it include
Yes.
everybody in the community?
it includes everybody in the community. Rite Aid, you have to make an appointment. I'll have it posted online tomorrow on hackensack.org for the Rite Aid site. And once we have more information between the county and the city, I'll post that too. We don't have all the logistics on whether we're gonna have, how we're gonna do the appointments. Of course, we don't want crowds, but we'll figure that out so it works the best for all the residents and their safety. But there won't be a charge, and they'll be in multiple sites.
And is there consideration for the 4 senior buildings, senior citizen buildings? A lot
Yes,
of them don't have transportation.
exactly. That's what we're working on.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Stewart.
Thanks.
Next one, public, please.
Yes, my name is Bridget.
Okay, yes,
Yes, Hackensack. And I am a part of the work. I am asking this question representing the work group.
Okay.
Does the city provide our police, fire, sanitation workers, masks, gloves, and hazmat suits for PPE to protect them during this pandemic? And how often are they given the supplies?
refer to the city manager.
All of our employees have been provided PPE, protective gear. Each individual department has their own use or policy, but universally, all of those employees that are essential are provided this material. To my knowledge, I've never been questioned or had any issue where employees felt that they were not being protected as far as gear. We also have all of our offices sanitized weekly.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. Next, please.
Victor Geddes?
Mr. Geddes.
Yes, I have a question. What is the involvement of the city council as far as the Board of Ed in elections? What involvement are you guys with the city council?
With the election itself,
Yes.
I mean, the city council as citizens, as the LaBrosse team, which is a political group, I mean, I personally have endorsed a slate, which I'm entitled to do. As far as involvement with the election, you have to, be a little more descriptive of what you're asking.
Hey, let me give you an example. In December, early December, people were contacting me on the behalf of Lance Powell, the president of the Board of Education, are possibly running. At that time, I wasn't sure. I didn't really know Lance Powell. Then later on, I would say in late January, early February, I had a meeting with Lance Powell and someone else who was present.
Okay.
In this meeting, Lance Powell stated that, yes, it would be a good idea if I could run on the slate that he's putting together. But to run on the slate, he had to get permission for me to run on the slate from Kathy Calestrino. And he also stated that Kathy Calestrino was the head of the candidates and providing resources for the candidates. So you're saying, Mayor, that there is no involvement, but she is on the city council. And also Dave Sims was going around Hackensack requesting people or asking people to run on the city council as long as they wasn't with the work group. By the way, I'm a proud member of the work group. So can somebody please answer them questions?
Well, I can tell you, you'd have to, Kathy Calestrino isn't here to answer for herself.
Yes, I know that.
I cannot answer for her. I can tell you that I haven't spoken to a Board of Ed member in upwards of a year, except to say hello to Lance Powell, passing him in the hallway where I work, which is at the hospital, and to, who else did I see? I saw somebody else somewhere, and I saw Ira Goodman during the clap out for the first responders at the hospital, for the frontline people at the hospital. I haven't had any conversations with anybody, including, except to say hello to one of the people that are running for office. So, I hear all this stuff that the city council's running the Board of Ed. Now, there is meetings between the city council and the Board of Ed, which never happened before. Didn't happen for years because there was always a battle between the city council and the Board of Ed. They seem to be working very well together. I stay out of that because my wife's a teacher in town, so I don't want a conflict of interest. I can't answer your question as far as Mrs. Calestrino, but I'm sure if you give her a call, or email her at her city email address, she would be more than happy to respond to you.
But it appears to me that the city council want to have control over the Board of Education with this arrangement that Kathy Calestrino is the advisor, the one that's running this campaign for the Board of Ed. And I couldn't be a part of it because she didn't agree to it.
Okay, well.
So, I mean, you guys don't know anything about this? Mr. Sims, Stephanie, Leo, you guys you're saying.
Mr. Geddes, stop right there. I'm sorry, but we're limited to 3 minutes and you went past your 3 minutes. I'd be glad to have, if you want to call me afterwards and talk about it, but I'm not going to be able to tell you anything different than you really have to speak with the person that you're accusing of doing this. So, I'm not aware of anybody telling
Just one more
anybody
thing, John, one more thing. I do have the person that was with us, me and Lance Powell, and he can verify that this actually happened.
Okay, well, again, you still have to approach Mrs. Calestrino. I don't know what you want me to do here. I can't, I'm going on hearsay. I have no proof of anything happening. I only know what I know about this Board of Ed. I've met one, I haven't even met two of the people that are running. So, I just
But you endorsed them.
Because I read their them. And I like what, yes, you're right. I endorsed them.
But you never met with the person people that you endorsed?
I don't know it's because he's a fireman, but Mr. Geddes, I'm sorry I have to stop because we got least I see 20 people on the screen and I don't know how many people are going to talk. 3 minutes each. If I give you more time, I have to give everybody more time, sir.
Okay. I
Thank
will be
you.
talking to you, John.
Thank you. Next, please.
Good evening, Carolyn Davis.
Ms. Davis.
Hi. I offer my sympathy. She's not there. To Deputy Mayor Canestrino. I have known her husband for quite some time. So I offer my sympathy to that family. My question tonight is, and I am the president and founder of the work group. I'm very proud of that group. My question is, do the police, fire department, sanitation, are they getting increased pay during this time? For, I think some municipalities or some places are offering them increased pay at this time. And I was wondering if that's happening for our,
I'll answer that. There is no hazard pay being offered to the police, fire, or DPW. They have contractual agreements that actually would have to be negotiated with their unions if that was a consideration at this time. Respectfully, they have all showed up to work. They've all acted and performed as the professionals that they are, and they have my deepest respect, but they are not compensated any more than what is negotiated by the contract and the requirement.
Well, that's good. I assume and I know they are doing what they're supposed to do, and for that reason is why we were questioning whether they're getting extra pay. That was the only reason to bring that in. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, please.
My name is Robert Robinson.
Sir?
And I think my question really was answered early on about the testing. And we have the senior buildings here, and I think somewhere along the line, we need to make sure that all of them get tested, since the seniors is the one that wind up most stricken by this virus that's out there. I know she said they're going to different part of the town with remote, but I think somewhere along that line with that remote, we can make it here. We're going to be at 60 Kansas Street today. We're going to be at 230 or whatever other buildings that we have, and set them up. 164 Beach Street. We got the 65 First Street. Set those things up and make them a day that all of those members can get tested.
Mr. Robinson, I agree with you 100%. And I'm going to work with the county to make sure that we can get those mobile units hopefully right there. The only problem with the mobile units is because of the logistics. They need a certain amount of square footage as far as space around the area to set up their tents and everything. So they're, we will do our best to make sure they're in close proximity to the senior center if we can do that. But in other words, like one of the sites that we put up so far, we know we're probably going to use the parking lot by Johnson Park. Now that's not for the seniors, but that's just shows you how big of an area they need in order to set up. In other words, if they were to pull into, let's say, the one on First Street, there's nowhere near enough for them to set up and operate safely. So logistically, they need a certain amount of space, but we can also make arrangements for the seniors to get to the testing if we need to.
Right, and you got the Costco parking lot down there on Kansas and River Road. That may be a place that you can do one.
Yes, that's true. We also have the M&M parking lot. We've got a couple different lots around town, that we're working on. So, but we'd obviously have to get permission from Costco to do that, but that's probably a good idea too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Next, please.
Hi, this is Yvette Irving. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm also part of the working group. I want to just a follow up to the comments about the Board of Education election and the LaBrosse tickets endorsement of it. You guys are the LaBrosse team, so I'm wondering if maybe you guys could explain to the public why you guys have endorsed the ticket that you've endorsed.
Ma'am, I would have to jump in there. Given, be talking about a political endorsement, I would just advise the council it wouldn't be appropriate to discuss the merits of particular candidates in this forum because it's not really related to governmental business. I think that's a conversation that they can certainly have with you offline, but really I don't want to get into the nature of political endorsements at a city council meeting, respectfully.
I'd be more than happy to, if anybody wants to email me or speak to me on my personal phone, I'd be more than happy to discuss it with anybody. But at the recommendation of legal counsel, I'm not going to speak to it before endorsing anybody here. Ms. Irving, was there anything else you wanted to ask?
I'm sorry, I was muted. No, I mean, it just raises at least to me, it raises kind of an ethical issue, but we can talk about that separately.
Okay, thank you. Next, please. Anybody else from the public like to speak? Hello, anybody from the public like to speak? Either press *6 or unmute your video.
Yeah, Randy Glover, Hackensack.
Randy, how are you?
Hey, John. Good evening, council. I would like to say I am a proud member and original member of the work group, but I will say, although all of you who I do know personally are very nice people, I do think there is an ethics issue on the council. Okay, and I think
Randy, you're breaking up really bad. You're very hard. It's very hard. I don't know if anybody else can hear him, but I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Okay, I said, although I do like quite a few of you, especially you, John, and my wife, I do think there's an ethics issue on the council. And I think, respectfully speaking, although the attorney said that it's a political issue, but once a political team goes to the public and basically endorses people, that becomes a public issue. So I think he's just giving a recommendation, and that's it. But you can actually discuss it. He's recommending that you don't.
Okay. Understood. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Is there anybody else from the public?
Pete Marcus, Andy here.
Hey, Pete.
Good evening to everybody. My condolences, obviously, to Emil. We've been friends for a long, long time, and we loved him dearly. I said this once before, especially dealing with all of you on the council, the work that you've put in over the years while going through personal surgeries, deaths in the family, illnesses, and working through it all. I mean, Kathy was probably maybe the most extreme case of having to deal with so much illness on the part of Emil for so long, and never skipped a beat when it came to her commitment to city business, which is really, in my mind, quite extraordinary. And I know you all have had your own personal issues, surgeries and health issues, and you've done the same thing. Absenteeism at city council meetings seems to be non-existent, which is really stellar performance, true public service. So I want to thank you for that, especially in these crazy times. I'm looking at Susan McVeigh's picture here, and I'm thinking what she's going through just processing death certificates in the last 2 months with the Board of Health, and all of that means. Thinking of the sanitation workers who, once a time, we didn't know whether they could pick up garbage twice a week. They are, and not skipping a beat, and coming to work every day, knowing that they're handling hazardous waste even when it isn't hazardous waste, because you don't know what you're running into on a day-to-day basis. And the police department, of course, as we know, our first responders doing an excellent job. So thank you all for that. Appreciate everything the city does. Your dedication is well appreciated, certainly by me anyway and my family. So thank you.
Thank you, Pete. Appreciate it.
Okay, we're almost done.
Anybody else from the public?
Mayor,
Yes.
I have, well, I had two, but Blanche Stewart already spoke. So now I just have something from Regina DePasqua.
Okay.
All right, let me just set this. I don't know if I'm going to get this all read fast enough, but I'll try. Good evening. I hope all are well. My condolences to the Canestrino family as well as others who have lost loved ones. My questions pertain to COVID-19 response and status in Hackensack. If you do not have answers to my questions available, kindly email the information to me. Number one, Hackensack has the highest number of cases in the county, and our county has the highest number of cases in the state. Has the city considered opening one of our parks for a testing site for Hackensack residents and employees, including those who are asymptomatic? Bergenfield and other towns that don't have numbers like ours are doing it, at little cost to the municipality and no cost to those being tested. I've heard that the city attorney rejected this idea as too expensive. Meanwhile, with Hoboken, less than half the number of cases where the city attorney lives does testing. The city absolutely can absorb the minimal cost from our $12 million reserve for the health and safety of our residents. We can easily follow the lead of other towns, although as the county seat, we should be leading. If the city truly has a good relationship with the hospital that shares our name, it should be a no-brainer. Number two, better clarification of the COVID numbers in Hackensack would be so helpful that residents can get a clear picture of the current status of cases. The city website lists new cases, total cases, deaths, and closed cases. Does this include all cases from long-term cares in Hackensack, total and deaths? If not, what are the long-term care cases for Hackensack residents, including deaths? When will we know the actual number of confirmed, not just presumed cases? This information would let us know if active cases in the city outside of long-term care is over 500 or 600 as it appears at first, or if it is under 200 when long-term care data is removed. With regard to social media, I did an informal poll on Facebook, and most who responded do not use the city website at all and get their info from social media. The city still resists use of social media. However, a few city council Facebook pages that are not open to all residents are being used for what appear to be official communications. This is contrary to open and transparent government. On a resident's Facebook page, the mayor criticized the work group for not being transparent. He posted, "We have not found one name associated with the work group." This is despite the fact that resident members of the group identify themselves as such at council and board of ed meetings. Government should be transparent to the residents, not the other way around. Why is the mayor and whomever else constitutes we searching for members of a resident group because they endorsed a Board of Ed slate? Why is he inserting himself into the election? City officials should stay out of the Board of Ed election. It's been a long, strange trip, and it's not over. I would like to commend Hackensack residents for finding their own way through this so far, helping when and how they are able, and communicating on social media and keeping each other informed.
Mayor?
Yes.
If I may, just because I was mentioned personally in that, and I want to be precisely clear about something, which is that I do not make policy on behalf of the city. That's what the city manager and the city council does. I was contacted by a single vendor regarding possible testing within the city. I gathered information from that vendor that would be necessary and forwarded that information to the city manager and the health officer for their review and assessment on how to proceed. So to the extent that Mr. Pasqua suggests that I would have any role in that, that's of course patently absurd, but I want to make that crystal clear for the record.
Thank you. And that's it, Deb?
That's it from Regina, yeah.
I'm going to reach out to the public one more time. Is there anybody else from the public who'd like to speak? Hearing no one from the public, I need a motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay, with that, let's say we'll go with Stephanie first.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I want to start by sending my condolences to Kathy and the entire Canestrino family. I have not known Emil as long as most of you, but from the minute I met him, I could see what a witty, genuine, honest, and smart man he was. At the many different city functions, he always took the time to sit and talk with me and tell me stories of the good old days, and he was always encouraging and supportive of me when I became the new council person. He always took the time to talk with my husband and made us feel like we had been friends forever. He was so proud of his children, his grandchildren, and especially proud of his wife, Kathy, for all of her dedication to the city, and he'll be greatly missed. In regards to the Board of Ed endorsement, as a parent of 3 students in the Hackensack Public Schools, I would love to have a private conversation about who I support and who I believe will have my children's, as well as all the students in the Hackensack Public Schools' best interests at heart. I've never used my platform here at City Councils to endorse one party or another, but as a parent, I have a right to decide who I want to support. Some positive news, our community garden is open by reservation only. 10 new beds were built, and the new COVID-19 guidelines, along with hand sanitizer, have been posted at the kiosk at the entrance of the garden. Please remember to practice social distancing. This week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and I would like to acknowledge all the teachers that have been working in really difficult situations. This is a very difficult situation for all students and parents, and as a supervisor in special education, I know how difficult it is for many students to stay on task and stay focused. And I recognize that many parents are working from home as well, or have many students that have to help at home and support. And the teachers are really trying, initiating very creative ways to keep the students engaged and focused during this crisis. So I commend them. Thank you to the DPW, police, fire department, city workers, our clerk, city manager, Jim, our CFO, and support staff, Susan, for being here and for continuing to do a wonderful job with handling all of the data operations, as well as the many new mandates, changes, crises, and the hecticness that has been going on throughout the city and the state. As the parks become open, please make sure you're still abiding by the rules for the open spaces. Today, there were 2 separate instances where there were people on field 7 at Fashini Park who were letting their dogs run free off the leash on the baseball field. So, just because it's a little different now, we might not have the sports and the normalcy that's going on, you still have to, abide by the rules and not take advantage of that. And last but not least, thank you to Leo and Pablo at Troy Pond for another successful food donation. Our local businesses are hurting, and for them to continue to work, which means that they're keeping their lights on, they're paying their electricity, they're paying employees to work, they're dealing with the public, which increases their risk of exposure. In order to donate to local families is just truly amazing. The new House of Pizza on the north side of Main Street is continuing to do the same, similar initiatives and donating food. So again, it's a lot, and they're hurting, and to do this and to keep paying bills that they might not have to if they're home, to donate things and give back to community is amazing. So thanks. Thank you for that.
Thanks. Dave, before you go, just saw a lady had popped up, a woman had popped up asking if we're still going to be giving out the firewood at DPW. Ted, do you know that?
Yes.
The answer is yes to the firewood.
Yep.
Okay. Thumbs up if you got it. Go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
My prayers and condolences go out to all the residents who have lost family members to COVID-19, especially to Kathy and her family. Emo was near and dear to our hearts. I used to sit back and talk about the Mets and the Jets, and I'm a Yankee fan, so I'll miss those conversations. This Thursday, May 7th, is the National Day of Prayer. The Fellowship of Black Churches, along with several organizations, are holding a 5-minute drive by parks and pray between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. This week is Teacher Appreciation Week. To my colleagues, I salute you. 2 food pantry giveaways for Hackensack residents will be held this Thursday at 11 a.m. One at 291 2nd Street and one at 80 Grand Ave. These are drive-by events, no walk-ups allowed. I want to thank all organizations, restaurant, and food pantries who have been feeding or giving food to those in need. I am proud to be part of our giving community. Every Friday at 8:20 p.m., the lights on the field at the Hackensack High School scoreboard will be turned on in honor of our senior class. Please continue to practice social distancing, proper hand washing, and wear your mask. We are Hackensack strong. We will get through this together. Good night.
Thank you, Dave. Leo?
Well, there's no question that Kathy lost her dear husband of 48 years the grandkid, they love Papa. He was a wonderful Papa, and I lost a dear friend. He was my best friend. We used to go around the city. He was really happy looking at all the improvement in the city. We spent every Wednesday in the Lion meeting. I used to pick him up, bring him to the meeting, go for a ride, and then take him home. But my friend really suffered for the last 4 months. He just spent in the hospital, and people, they know what he went through by being an 85-year-old man. To me, he was like Superman. He went through so many problems with his health. Now he's resting, and I'm gonna remember my dear friend Emil forever. As long as I live, Emil gonna be always in my head and my heart. Condolences, Kathy. My condolences to you and your family. Now let's go to the program of paving. We paved today Prospect, the south side, and then we paved the north side. And then we're gonna continue to Elm Street, and we're gonna do another portion of Prospect between Spring Valley and Catalpa. Another thing that I am working together, we are working by trying to improve the lights through the city. All the corners that they are right now really dark, the lights are gonna be changed, and we are working right now with PSG. The other thing that we are working is we are in conversations with the county to try to pave how many streets we got that are really county roads. My recommendation to you guys is please stay home. I don't only lost Emil, but today I went to a funeral of one of the fathers of one of my soccer players, and Hector was only 58-year-old. The virus killed him too. Stay home, please. Say to your friends now that you love him, that you like him. Don't wait for the person to die to start sending flowers or coming with comments about how good he was. Do it now when everybody's alive. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Leo. I want to start out by thanking all of our departments, police, fire, DPW, all our city hall workers, all the people that are working, the ones that are here tonight. I want to thank the council through these trying times, and all the guys that are showing up every day to work. We appreciate it, and hopefully we get through this soon. I want to put a special thanks out to the Carroll family. Carroll Family Values have been feeding tons of people in town. I'm personally working to try to get some funding for them, and we're working on some other things to work with them to help them out, because it's gotten so big that it's a little bit overwhelming. I also want to shout out to, again, I know Stephanie mentioned Chirpon. I got to admit, Clemente's is also partnered up with Chirpon, which is another Hackensack business. They're doing a tremendous job of feeding people, and can always donate to either one of these groups, the Carroll family or through Chirpon. They have a Fund Me page. Very, very important. If you guys, if you're working and you haven't been affected financially and you've got a few extra bucks, let's get some food on the table for some Hackensack residents. All right, do what you can. Appreciate it. Leo, I got to tell you, during Emil's illness, oh, it's a baby somewhere. During Emil's illness, and I'm going back a ways because Emil's had some issues through the years, Leo was always there to help him, whether it was to get up a flight of stairs or into the house or out of a car. Leo was always Kathy's go-to guy to lend a hand when Emil needed a hand. So you were, he wasn't just your best friend, he was your good friend, and you were a great friend to him for helping him with everything you did. And I personally appreciate it. The fact that you were able to be there was important. To Kathy and her family, I know it's hard, but your husband right now is in a better place than we are right now, that's for sure. And like I mentioned in a testimonial that was written by his son-in-law, Joe, He's probably up there with all his buddies from years past that beat him up there. And they're playing cards and they're watching sports and probably at a, do a little gambling on the side of fun things they used to do when they were younger. They're probably having a blast. So that's the way I want to remember Emil, as a great guy, great listener, great friend, great father, great grandfather, pop. And he's going to be missed. And he was always there with advice too. If you needed advice, he'd give it to you and he'd give you the honest answer. So he will be missed. We're going to work, a couple different things going on with these testing sites. We have the county, we have the Rite Aid, we have some other things that we're looking at. One of the reasons that, cost is a factor. I don't care what somebody says. You should just pay whatever somebody wants because that's their price. The one was $100 per person, about $100 per person. And that's, we could get funded possibly back from the federal government, but we're looking into that as well. But we're trying to take advantage of the county and Rite Aids and other things that we're working on right now. But Mr. Robinson, I think his name was, mentioned the seniors. I think that's a great idea if we can get these seniors looked at and taken care of. What I would not recommend doing at this time, and the health officer could correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, asymptomatic is good for testing, probably for antibody situation only, and to know if you had it. I mean, if you were ill a month ago and you feel fine now and you want to know if you had the virus, I would recommend, and I'll leave it to Ms. McVeigh to give her opinion, but I'd really rather see symptomatic people getting tested first and asymptomatic after that, but they're opening it up to everybody. So, Susan, do you want to respond to that real quick? Were you able to hear that?
You're on mute, Susan. Susan, you need to take yourself off mute. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, I heard what you said, and the state completely agrees. The health department agrees that we should still be focusing on symptomatic people that are tested first responders, and the elderly and immunocompromised. Second should be people that are concerned, that perhaps live within a large group of people, live with many family members that may have been tested that are not symptomatic, that want to test themselves to make sure that they're okay. So even though the testing sites are open to everyone now, the FEMA sites, we still really want to focus on the people that are symptomatic now, and eventually open it up to everybody so everyone can get tested. But like the governor says, the more testing that we have, the closer we'll be to be able to reopen everything and to get back to some resemblance of normal.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, I mean, I work, everybody knows I work at the hospital. Obviously, I'm a lot of people know I'm a safety officer at the hospital. I'm in COVID wards several times a week, COVID areas, and I see what happens in there. But by the grace of God, I've been totally healthy, so I don't feel at this time the need to run out and be tested. But I certainly would want somebody with symptoms to be out there tested. Down the road, yeah, maybe to check to see if I had it and never had any, it was totally asymptomatic, but maybe I could give some antibodies. I'd be more than happy to do that. But I would recommend this going to the sick people first, though. So with that, I'm going to say good night to everybody. I want to wish everybody, the mothers coming up, happy Mother's Day. Enjoy. I know it's going to be a different Mother's Day for a lot of people, where, if you have your kids with you at home, at least you'll get to spend time with them. But a lot of moms are not going to be able to see their kids, their grown kids, and it's going to be tough. And, my heart goes out to them. It's a different world, but we'll get through this. And just everybody try to stay safe and stay healthy. Practice your social distancing. Wear your PPE when you're out. Wear your mask. Wear your gloves, and follow the rules. And we'll get through this. So I need a motion to close the meeting, please.
Offer it.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino is absent. Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Night.
Night.